Can we share the heaven with all? Basanti joined as caretaker and helper in our house. When she first time came to our house, she was surprised and astonished to see air conditioning. And when she made food, she said कि PNG से खाना कैसे बनता है खाना? कभी PNG, कभी गैस सिलेंडर नहीं देखा था. And when we inquired, we found out that there is no electricity in her village. There is a pole of electricity, but there is no electricity wire, and the villagers are waiting for electricity for last 10 years. So she said कि ये तो स्वर्ग है. So my question is, can we share our heaven? So are we living in heaven? Right? If for 10 minutes electricity is not there, let us assume the electricity lights go off, power cut is there. I will not be able to communicate with you, this mic will not work, these cameras will also not work, we will not be able to write and read properly. And if the power cut is long, then we will not be able to pump water also, we will not be able to eat food also. So the basic question is, how can we share the heaven with others? Can we share the heaven with all our fellow countrymen? So the answer is, the motto of the conference is energy for all. If you see the book, the name of the book, of conference book, we have made it energy for all. The question is, how do we share heaven with everyone? So what we have done is, we have devised, this is the precise objective of the conference. That is why I am telling all of you this thing. We have devised, 3 themes. First theme is, make in India new and renewable energy. Most of the equipments for new and renewable energy like solar have to be imported from other countries. They are not manufactured in India. So the difficulty is the cost, there is cost escalation. We have to encourage entrepreneurs to make equipments of new and renewable energy in India, so that the cost of electricity is reduced or the government targets they are achieved. First theme is there. After this session, the first theme will be this, then we'll discuss all these things. Second theme is produce in India power. So there is some requirement and there is some generation capacity. If the production of power is increased, so what will happen? It will automatically reach the right person where it should reach. If you just step 200 kilometers from Delhi, you will see there are power cuts, 2 hours, 3 hours, 10 hours, sometimes the power cuts are 20 hours. So in most of the places, the infrastructure is there, but there is no power. So if we are able to generate more power, automatically it will reach the last person in the village. Third theme of the conference is, find in India petroleum and energy gas. We are blessed with a huge landmass. We are a very lucky country. We have a huge, seas with us. Even ocean has been named after Indian Ocean. So we have so many islands. If we explore properly, find in India. If we try to find, we will find abundance of natural gas, energy gas, and petroleum. So our dependency on other countries will reduce drastically. So third scheme is, find in India petroleum and energy gas. If we find in India, it will contribute to energy security of the nation also, and it will give benefits to our citizens also. So these are the 3. So we come again to the basic question, can we share heaven with all? Yes, the answer is we can share heaven with all, and the objective is energy for all, and these are the 3 steps. If we follow, it will have a long-term repercussions in Indian society. This is the first conference, but whenever you progress to the second and third conference, you will see the outcome coming up. So what we will do is, we will deliberate on these 3 aspects, how to share heaven, and with these 3 things in mind, we will document it. We will document our suggestions for the whole day, whatever deliberations are going on, conference outcome book will be prepared, and it will be presented to Honorable President of India, and it will be shared with all the ministries, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, Ministry of Coal, Ministry of Petroleum and Energy Gas, Ministry of Power. Then it will be shared with all the state governments, so that they have clear vision as to what we have to do so that the objective of energy for all is achieved. With these introductory remarks, with these thoughts, I welcome our esteemed guest, Honorable Justice Surendra Kumar, who is also chairperson of the International Energy Conference. He is Judicial Member, Appellate Tribunal for Electricity. We welcome His Excellency High Commissioner of Cyprus, Dr. Dimitrios Theoplaktou. He is guest of honor. We welcome Shri Sukesh Kumar Jain, Secretary Power, guest of honor, Government of NCT of Delhi. We welcome Mananiya Anupriya Patel ji. She is Member of Parliament, dynamic leader, and she is also member of Standing Committee on Petroleum and Energy Gas. We are privileged to have amongst us experts from across the national and international energy spectrum. It is only with an open, wholehearted approach that the conference like this will be truly effective in enabling us to improve our knowledge and understanding in the energy sector. So finally, I summarize my welcome speech. Can we share the heaven with everyone? Answer is yes, we can do it by ensuring energy for all. How do we ensure energy for all? There are 3 steps. Make in India new and renewable energy, produce in India power, find in India petroleum and energy gas. So, yesterday I was, discussing this matter with my wife, and she said, "We are in this world to bring heaven down to earth." So I said, I'll just, this will be my concluding remark. It is now an honor and privilege to declare officially open the TLA International Energy Conference 2016 and wish you fruitful deliberations. Thank you so much.
Now I would request Sri Rakesh Kumar, Director, Solar Energy Corporation of India, to share his views and experiences.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I am quite privileged to be invited by TLA International in this international conference. We also feel privileged to be a partner as a sponsor to this program. One thing which, this TLA salute to work, this reminds us of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam. He said that if you salute your work, you don't have to salute anybody else. So we are very privileged and lucky. We did sponsor this, and our logo is quite in the center of the, here. So we are lucky to be in the center place. Maybe we all are talking about solar, and solar is also today the center of most of the discussions. As we all know, energy requirement is growing. Of course, we have reached a very large installed capacity. Some of those capacities are not getting optimally utilized, not because we have met our energy demand. I think this is a dichotomy. It's mostly because many of the distribution companies are not in right financial health, and so they prefer not to serve electricity. And there are immense power cuts for long hours, and many parts of the country is not getting quality or uninterrupted electricity supply. That's why we are talking about 24/7 electricity by 2022 or 2020, which again is a very major objective of the country. And so we need capacity. Of course, in the morning you must have heard that while it is not either or, that we don't have to have new capacity and we should just operate our existing capacity. I would say, of course, we need existing capacity to be better utilized, optimally utilized, and whatever are the challenges, mostly they are fuel related issues, sometimes availability of coal, that has improved quite a lot. Gas is a big challenge, that's why many of the gas power plants are stranded in the country. We need to revive them. And also some of the plants which are not performing well because they are old or they are having old kind of equipments which is emitting more CO2 into the environment. We need to improve upon them. So naturally, these are two parallel targets. One is to utilize your existing resources better, optimally. But at the same time, the kind of demand that we are going to see in the coming years, we need to have new capacities as well. Of course, when you start optimizing your existing generation, the new capacity additions will come down, not to that extent. So this point I wanted to make. We all know that country is growing very fast, whatever are the projections. The GDP, among the large economies, India is one of the shining examples. And almost all estimates say GDP will grow by 7.5% or more. We have very recently seen predictions about good monsoon. We were having 2 years of drought, which also had a impact on our economy. But going forward, this is all going to increase economic activities. We have a very large middle class, very aspiring middle class. We want our quality of life to improve. And energy is one of the components. And not only energy, timely delivery of energy, quality power is all that we need. If you go outside Delhi, Delhi is lucky that we have a very good distribution company who have over the time improved upon their losses. They are now one of the most efficient utilities in the country, and more or less 24/7 is available in Delhi. But I am staying across Yamuna and I find a lot of power cuts. So we have a long way to go, and definitely when we talk about energy requirement, we have to also see that we should not waste energy. So which means that we have to, on one side, we have to have energy, but on the other, we have to conserve energy. We have to more efficiently use energy. And that's why energy efficiency also takes very important role here. So, and I would also say smart grid, smart meters, they all will allow utilities to more accurately know at what time, what kind of energy is needed, what kind of energy at that very time will be more suitable to serve the demand. So all this goes a long way, and you have heard about this LED program which was run by the government. And of course, Delhi also has distributed large number of LEDs and also changed the street light to solar. And I believe those solar lights are also LED lights. So this is something of a revolution that we all have to be very conscious. So please, even in your home, if you see that the lights are to be changed to LED, please go forward. When we talk of energy, we all know that our dependence, energy dependence on other countries is very high. If you look at our petroleum requirement, almost 80% of what we need is imported. Our own generation is not there. Which means any disruption anywhere will be impacting our economy. So on one side, and most of the energy is used on transportation also. So there has to be more efficient way of utilizing that with better emission norms. And some of those are also used for electricity generation. So we have to see that this dependence on other sources of electricity should reduce. And that is only possible when you go for, or go in a very accelerated manner for renewable energy development. And that is what the government's program, as you see, we have a very huge mandate now, 175 gigawatt of power through renewable energy. So whatever the energy mix that we are seeing today, we are seeing a very quick transformation or transition. Earlier renewable energy was hardly 1 or 2%. From that we have now reached to about 7% renewable energy in energy terms. And capacity wise, I was very surprised to note that it is now the second installed capacity proportion in our renewable energy. Globally is growing very fast, almost 30 to 40% year-on-year growth. And you will be very surprised to know that renewable energy investment, the investment that is coming into the energy sector, renewable energy has attracted more investment as compared to conventional energy sector. So that shows the interest globally. And our program also is one of the largest globally. So what it means that we have been able to attract lot of interest, not only domestic interest, we are seeing all around the interest in solar. I will be now more talking about solar energy. And there are many countries, many companies who are looking at India as an investment destination. And they are all trying to set shops, they try to set solar plants, they want to get into rooftop program. So, and there is a general public mood also quite in favor of renewable energy. There was a survey carried out by WWF, and you will be very happy to know that that survey two things very clearly. One, that as Indians, 70% or rather 75% of Indians are very positively inclined towards clean energy or renewable energy. So there is already a very large number of people who are for renewable energy. So you will find less resistance when you are going for such intervention. On the other side, it also through that survey, 75% of the Indians say that awareness is very poor. They are not aware who are the agencies, what is the kind of subsidy structure. So there is a whole lot of good work to be done to create awareness. And such programs which, I'm most thankful to TLA International that they have organized it, and definitely through such programs we will be able to. So as there is a, Ved, there is some sentence that Tamso ma jyotirgay mein, means from darkness to light. So similarly, we have to also move from energy dependence to energy independence. We have to create our energy security. And all that means that we have to develop renewable energy. Luckily, we have a very huge potential, as Dr. Arun Kumar had shown in his slides. 750 gigawatt of solar potential is there. That 750 gigawatt is only when you are using 3% of wasteland of the country. I mean, it's not the total potential of the country. Just by using 3% of wasteland, we don't want or we don't encourage that agriculture land should be transferred to solar generation. We should try to use wasteland for solar generation. So this is huge potential. Similarly, wind has huge potential, and that's how the government has kept this target. Sun has infinite source of energy, and as long as you want. And one very important aspect that also we have to see, although in last 1 or 2 years we are lucky that petroleum prices have fallen globally, oil prices particularly is going down. So our balance of payment has improved because of that. We are able to have more money for others, and that's how you are seeing our petrol prices or sometimes diesel rates are coming down for the retail at the retail level. But as you know, still it is a huge drain on our foreign exchange. Most of our foreign exchange goes in buying oil. So if we start generating renewable energy, definitely our balance of payment will also improve. So now it is not a case of whether to go for renewable energy or not. It is a case of how fast to go. And I'm very happy. We are really pleased to know that Delhi government has such a big plan going forward to have 1,000 megawatt. I just want to share with you, sir, as you rightly said, that it is good to have physical assessment of rooftop, and it was Power Grid had made more broad kind of assessment. But in ministry, I was privy to that discussion. It is being decided that remote sensing will be used, and ISRO help will be taken, because in case of Chandigarh, the remote sensing was used, and TERI was involved in that to assess the rooftop potential of Chandigarh. So that way, the country has announced 60 solar cities across the country. MNRE has announced, and also there is a smart city program. As you know, very recently 20 cities have been prioritized for smart city. So many of those cities, I believe 13 cities, are common smart city and solar city. And in any smart city, going forward, renewable energy will be playing one of the most important component. So we also look forward how to use that renewable energy. Storage will have to be improved, because one of the challenges for is intermittent nature of generation sometimes, and solar is available during the daytime. As more and more technology innovations and interventions are happening, storage is also improving day by day. Only the other day we were discussing with one Australian company. They came out with some storage, battery storage, and they were claiming that they are ready to give warranty for 10 years, and the life of battery is 20 years. Now you imagine your solar plant, if you are trying to put on a house, residence, and once you put the battery, you don't have to replace it for next 10 years, or there is an agency who is ready to give you warranty for that and ready to replace, and the life is 20 years. Means once you have done it, you are relaxed throughout your life of the solar plant. So worldwide, with all this development and efficiency also, we are seeing every passing day or every passing week that there is some improvement in efficiency. So technology-wise, of course, R&D is a weak link in India. We have to also improve more investment in R&D if we have to live up to the developed world standards. But then whatever development is taking place, you just imagine if efficiency level rises, and already in laboratory conditions, I was just talking to Mr. Pranav Mehta, then whatever is happening, almost a 50% rate reduction will be there. Because the kind of efficiency which is now there is about 20%, and laboratory condition it is 40%. Now, whatever tariff you are getting, 4.5 or 5, imagine if that efficiency goes up and it can be commercialized, which is of course in the laboratory stage at this moment, then it becomes 2.5 rupees. And this 2.5 rupees remains firm for next 25 years, because there is no variable cost. Solar energy comes free. A little bit about my company. Solar Energy Corporation of India is a Government of India enterprise under Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. We were set up as not-for-profit, but now we are a commercial organization. We made profit last year of about 10 crores, of course with the support of all stakeholders and government and even our clients like Delhi government for whom we worked. This plant, which is planned to be 3 megawatt and 1 megawatt has been commissioned. We are also associated, so we can also take a little bit of reflected glory of what Delhi government has done. Like you are the one who have decided, and so it's like sun and moon. So if you glow, we also glow. So SECI has a lot of responsibility. A lot of onus has been given on us. We are the implementation arm of ministry for National Solar Mission. We have already done 750 megawatt of grid ground-based projects. Almost 2,000 megawatt is in the pipeline and in a very advanced stage of contracting. Rooftop is again a flagship program of the company. We have already commissioned about 40 megawatt is already commissioned, 60 megawatt almost at the verge of completion and inspection. Going forward, government has given us a 500 megawatt rooftop program, which we also want that not only large industries, but small entrepreneurs and those new entrepreneurs, channel partners, small and medium enterprises, they also participate. because unless this is a public movement and there are many players, because 40 gigawatt of rooftop is not, it is quite an ambitious target, and we all have to work. We have to, reduce the entry barrier. We have to be more careful on the other side of the ladder, that is quality. So we have to improve on monitoring, verification, and see that how the quality installations are done. And Delhi government, as you said, they are going to give some incentive, GBI, if somebody is generating more than the normal run-of-the-mill kind of generation. So all this augurs quite well, and I hope with and one little thought on PLA and the legal community. Well, till 2003, when Electricity Act came, it was more an intermittent kind of relation between energy sector and the legal community. But after this, formation of regulatory commission, both at the center and at the states, now the interdependence between legal community and energy community has become very strong. And we need to work together. We have to find ways. We have to see if there are some lacuna in the law, whether some amendments can be brought so that we don't miss the bandwagon. And whatever we are dreaming for, whatever targets that we have set, we should not only be able to achieve those targets, but we should exceed the target and let India, glow in the entire globe. Thank you very much.